Hi, I am Lenneth, and behind me is a really cute Seahawk quilt that was made with a basic storm at sea pattern with a few variations in color and some Seahawk cloth. I'm not going to tell you how to cut out a storm at sea pattern because that's what I do. I make quilt kits that are precision cut and ready to sew. What this video is for is to show you how simple and easy it is to make this quilt using one of my kits.
Basically, Storm at Sea has three different blocks. The diamond, the square on point, and the square within triangles. The center of the square on point is a square that is larger than a 2.5-inch square, and in the kit it comes in packages. They're 24 for this quilt. Also in the kit come the 2.5-inch quarter squares that go around the block. You begin with your center square. You take your 2.5-inch quarter triangles and you line them up on opposite sides and pin them. You'll notice that when you pin these quarter triangles on this square, there will be a little bit of overlap. You need to make sure you're kind of balanced between the two, pin and sew. And on the back you want to press your seams open, so it looks like this. Next you will pin two pieces to the opposite sides of the square. You will notice when you pin the second sides on that the edges will line up perfectly on both sides. And you will sew and press your seams open and it will look like this. These pieces are precision cut. They're made to line up perfectly with each other so you get a nice finished block. You will make 20 of these, and then there are 4 specialty blocks. These are the 4 specialty blocks. They have 3 gray corners and 1 blue in each of a different corner. So when you make these, set them aside, and the packet has 4 blue triangles that go with it. So you have that specialty piece. Now that you have finished your point on square blocks, there's 20 of these with 4 of those. You put them together and you set them aside. Next we're going to work on the second block. This is a block that is a square in 2 sets of triangles. These are quarter triangles and these are half triangles. All 3 of those pieces come precision cut in the kit. We begin with the quarter triangles, and you're going to sew again opposite corners like you did on the square on point. You will pin those and then sew them. Again, you will notice this time that the edges match totally on these. They're perfect, so you're going to go edge to edge when you line them up, ready to sew. It's easy if you sew them, just pin a lot and then sew them as flags and just run them. And then cut them. Then you will, after they're run, you will press them open and then turn and press their seams open so they lie flat. And you will take 2 more quarter triangles and pin on these sides and run. As you're pinning on your second set of quarter triangles, you'll notice that when you iron it back, your blue edge, this time these will lie right there and right aligned with that open edge. They should go straight across. Green edge and the top edge line. And sew and press open. These are half triangles, and you sew 1 to each side and press, and then come back and sew 1 to the opposite side and press. And when you're through, you'll have a piece that will look like this. Now on this piece, you do not need to press these seams open like you did the inside one, you can just press out to the blue. And this is the main block. These are the instructions that come with the kit for the square in the triangles. It's pretty straightforward. The greens, and then the blues, and the finished square. It's not a difficult quilt. It goes together pretty fast and pretty easy, especially when the pieces are all precision cut for you. Now you're going to make the diamond block, which looks like this. There are 40 of these blocks in this quilt. In the Seahawks variety, which we're making right now, you will make 16 of this kind. You make 40 blocks, but 16 of this design. And you open the package like this that says diamonds on it. You take them out. They come in sets of 2 like this. You take the 2, then you take the package that says sides to the diamonds. They're gray. They come out in sets of 2, 1 for each side. Remember, you're making a square, so these go on the sides of these isosceles triangles to make a square. And you put those on. Then pin one side. We're going to run this side first. You could pin all 32 that make the 16 blocks and run them. When you're through, you'll have a block that looks like that. And you press the seam open. And then you pin the other side and you run them all through till you get your half blocks that look like that. Then you take your 2 half blocks and you put them together and pin them and sew them, and you'll end up with your 16 diamonds that look like this. You will notice when you're pinning your gray pieces on that they're cut without the tips so that you can go right edge to edge and pin, and then go to the other side, edge to edge, and pin. And then sew your 1/4 inch and flip. It's the same on both sides. When you're pinning your 2 halves together, look at your colors. You want those 2 edges in the corner. You should see them right there to line up with each other so you get a good point. The same with the other side. You want to look, kind of lay, make sure you see that color on top of the color to pin it. We're going to move on to the specialty blocks, which are these kind with alternating gray and blue. Lay out your half triangle and put a gray on one side and a blue on the other. Make 2 of those. So the gray on first. Will look like that with the gray, and then sew on the blue. So when you finish, you have 1 and 2. Look exactly alike. When you turn it upside down to put them together, you'll have the gray on the opposite sides and the blue on the opposite sides. When it's sewn together, it will look like this. You have these bumps. You will make 4 of these. On the next 4, you want to put the gray on the opposite corner with the blue. Sew those together, press your seams open. When they are sewn with the gray and the blue on opposite sides, when you have the 2 together, turn it upside down and put them together and you'll have opposite colors. When they're done, it should look like this, and the seams are open on the back. So you make 4 of those. So you have 4 with these and 4 with these gray corners. When you are putting your gray sides on, just make sure you've got the square, you'll notice that the edge, they're cut. So they go edge to edge and fit right down your side because it doesn't have the tips. And then you do your true 4th inch seam. The third type of diamond block is this one. And for this one, you will take your diamond half a diamond, You'll take a set of your sides that are gray, and you'll put one on one side and seam it and press it open. And you'll put one on the other side, seam it and press it open, so you have half a triangle. And then you will go and get your package of diamond squares for the diamonds. They are blue like this, and you will then sew this to the bottom and press your seam open. So when you're through, you will end up with this kind of a block, and you will make 16 of these. When you're pinning the sashing row together, you want those points to line up. Take your pin through the point where they meet, and then put your pin through the point where they meet again, and line your two edges up. Pin and edge to edge on the side. Pin and edge to edge on the other side. Pin. That way when they're sewn, your points will be right where they need to be, touching each other on the sashing. Nice straight point line. Because the Seahawk is the main block, when you sew the square-on point to the diamond, this becomes the sashing between the blocks. Then you'll see that your Seahawk will then fit between the sashing pieces to make the quilt. Usually in a sashing row you have a square on point, a diamond, square on point, diamond, square on point, diamond, square on point, diamond, square on point. In the very center of the quilt, the middle sashing, you have square on point, diamond, square on point, diamond, but instead of a square on point in the dead center, you will take one of your 4.5-inch squares that are in the diamond bag, and you will sew it there. It will replace the square on point block right there. And then continue on with your diamond, square on point, diamond, square on point. So when you sew this together, it gives you a large blue space. In the kit, you will find a helmet. The helmet is backed with an adhesive glue, and you peel the paper off, and you see the adhesive glue. You want to take the helmet, after you've peeled the paper off of it, you want to place it, kind of center it in that large blue space. And once you get it where you want it, in the center, you pin it in place. Now because felt does not like heat, and because this is a felt image, we're going to turn the quilt over. We're going to place it on our ironing pad upside down. The helmet's right there. And so that I don't melt my fleece, I'm going to take a piece of paper and put it over the top. I place a piece of paper over the top where the helmet is right here. Then I take my iron and I have it set, not way hot, but hot. And then I am going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over the whole thing one more time. That should melt the glue and put the helmet in place. I'm going to take out my pin. As you can see, the edges are down. I mean, it's on there. It's really on there. What I've used is the heavier glue that should stay. But just to be sure, you can take your sewing machine and in this white line around the outside of the helmet, you can do just a single outline stitch around that helmet. It'll blend right into the white. It'll be just fine to hold that permanently right where it is. Should stay, but you never want to chance it.